Are you ready to take charge of your life and health? In this episode, I'll share my coaching strategies to assist you in discovering how to break free from old patterns, tap into your true self, and create lasting change that aligns with who you really are. Aloha, friends. Welcome back to the Radiate Health and Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Christine D. Ross, and today we are talking a little bit about what I do. So in my first podcast, I shared a little bit about my stories and my reasoning for starting this podcast and doing what I'm doing. I shared stories and insights of my personal cancer journey, as well as just really deep stories on my brother's suicide and why I am so committed to health and wellness. So today I'm going to come out of my comfort shell yet again and just talk a little bit about what I do as a coach. So some people have been asking me what I do and how I assist others. And to tell you the truth, I just really have a hard time marketing myself, getting myself out there, telling what I do. I don't like turning the spotlight on me. I like being the one asking the questions. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my coaching practice and the behavior change methods that I use. So for those who don't know me, I am a health and wellness coach as well as a culinary coach. So with the culinary coach, I assist people with just creating healthier recipes, going into their kitchen, doing food swaps, this rather than that. I also discover, prepare, and incorporate delicious, nutritious recipes that fit into their life, their lifestyle. But what I do goes so much deeper than that. My true specialty is in behavior change. And this is where things get really exciting. So I believe that everything starts with our minds, the thoughts we think, and those choices we make. Those are what ultimately shape our reality. And just like the law of attraction says, we get what we think about most of the time. So let me give you an example why my behavior change and mindfulness are the foundation of what I do. So let's say you've been trying to get physically fit. You start a new job, maybe a workout plan, and maybe you even stick with it for a few weeks. But then slowly things fall apart. Maybe life gets busy. You miss a couple of workouts, or you find yourself, just reaching for that comfort food late at night. But all these things just really start sabotaging your progress and everything you've worked so hard to make. It's frustrating, right? You might start to think, I can't stay consistent, or what's wrong with me? Well, here's the thing. It's not all about willpower. Most of the time, what holds us back has to do with deeper patterns, things like stress, emotional triggers, or the stories that we've told ourselves for years. Like, I'll never be good enough. I'm too fat. I'm lazy. It's in my genes. Or I'm just not a fit person. So these thoughts and beliefs operate in the background, influence our choices without us even realizing it. So that's why mindfulness is so important. When you start to tune in and become aware of those patterns, you can begin to shift them. For instance, if you notice that stress at work triggers late night eating, you can begin to develop healthier ways to cope with stress, maybe through breathing or exercises or a relaxing bedtime routine, rather than just turning to food. So it's not a punishment. And I don't want you to ever punish yourself or think that you're messing up. It's really about learning what works for you. You get to discover your own triggers, test out new habits, and see what helps you thrive. And you're not doing this alone. I'm here by your side, assisting you to observe, tweak, and adjust as we go. So, for example, if you're someone who struggles with consistency in working out, we might explore not just the physical routine, but also what is happening in your mind. Maybe you find exercising just boring or feel like it's a punishment rather than feeling like it's something joyous that you want to do. So, together, we'll look for ways to reframe that type of thinking and find other exercises that you do find enjoyment in. So, whether it's taking your dog for a walk, riding your bike, or doing a set of burpees, we'll find what movement works for you. So, mindfulness gives you the awareness to notice what's really going on beneath the surface. And once you're aware, that's when real behavior change happens. So instead of reacting on autopilot, you start making conscious choices that align with your goals and who you want to be. So, in my coaching practice, working on mindfulness is really the top priority. When we can slow down, just tune in, listen to ourselves, and become aware of our inner dialogue, that's when the real magic and transformation begins. It's not about following somebody else's rules or ideas of what's right for you. It's about discovering what truly works for you and just really finding yourself and being okay with that. So, just last night, me and my husband were watching the movie Along Comes Polly. And in it, there's a little metaphor of the happy hippo. So, the happy hippo, first, he just wasn't happy about being a hippo. He saw the zebras and he wanted to be a zebra. So he decided to put a stripe on himself. And even though he had a stripe on himself, he still didn't feel like a zebra. He wasn't as fast. He wasn't as quick as them. He wasn't a zebra. So then he saw the cougar and wanted to be like the cougar. So he put spots on him to look like a cougar or a cheetah. But he still wasn't a cheetah. He wasn't as quick. He wasn't as small. He wasn't as quick as the cheetah. So finally, after trying to be all of these other animals, when he was truly happy was when he realized that he was happy being a hippo and he had self-confidence and knew himself as the hippo. And that's where his happiness laid. So today, I want to dive into this more deeply and just share how I guide clients to connect with their true selves and uncover what's really driving their behaviors. Whether you're seeking healing, stress management, weight loss, or greater self confidence, it all starts with the mind. So the truth is, many of us spend a good chunk of our lives following other people's rules, whether it's about how we should eat, exercise, manage stress, or live our lives in general. We've been conditioned to look for answers outside of ourselves. But have you ever stopped to think about whether those plans and rules are truly yours? Do they actually feel aligned with who you are? So, my job as a coach is to assist you in breaking free from those external expectations. So, if you're looking for somebody that will give you a list of things that you should do and shouldn't do, well, I'm not the coach for you. And that's okay. There are plenty of other people out there that are willing to tell you exactly what you should do. But ask yourself, how has that worked for you in the past? How did it feel when someone handed you that strict diet plan or a set of rigid rules to live by? Did it feel natural? Did it stick? Most likely the answer is no. And that's because those plans weren't built around you. They were built around somebody else's idea of what's right. So it's time to put away those stripes of trying to be a zebra and fit into another category and just learn to love yourself as that hippo and be truly happy. So, this is what I believe. You know yourself, your body, your thoughts, your minds, how different things and foods and stuff react to not only how you feel physically, but mental alertness. You know yourself so much better than I do or anybody else could possibly know you. So, who's better to figure out what is best for you than yourself? So, my role as a coach isn't to tell you what you should or shouldn't do or should all over you. It's to assist you in uncovering what already exists within you, your true core values. What are your beliefs? Are you following beliefs that have been handed down from generation to generation? And so you think they're your beliefs, but let's really take a look at them. Are they yours? Are those values really yours? Something that holds true to you? So I like to think of this process, since it is really digging deep and finding new solutions. I like to think of it as a science experiment where you get to be the lead scientist, figuring out, well, you guessed it, yourself. So whether it's the food you eat, your habits, your self-talk, your triggers, or your sleep, you get to test out what works and what doesn't work. The beauty of this approach is that it's completely customized to you. You're not following somebody else's playbook. You're writing your own. But here's the good news. You don't have to do this science experiment alone. I'm your trusty lab assistant. I'll be right there with you, assisting you reflect on what's working and what's not working, and guiding you as you make the adjustments that feel right to you. So, this process works for all areas of life. Maybe you're trying to change the way you talk to yourself, reduce stress, or just freeing yourself from an addiction. Whatever it is, we'll experiment with different strategies, reflecting on what feels good and make adjustments accordingly. It's all about learning, evolving, and doing what works for you because no one else's solution is going to work exactly the same for you. Now, to help you through this process, I use several different behavior change methods that I've found to be just incredibly effective over the years. So, I want to walk you through a little bit of the processes of them because, well, they're kind of the core of my approach. And they really tie into this idea of you being the creator of your own life. So, the first method I use is motivational interviewing. So, this is just a powerful tool for uncovering what's driving you. This is really where you get to figure out your why. What is motivating you? Why are you wanting to make these health changes? Is it because a doctor told you to and you're just kind of contemplating, but your heart's not really into it? Or are you really driven to live a long, healthy lifespan so you will be there for future generations? And not only be there, but be there and fully live to get down there, play on the floor with your grandkids, and be able to get back up. What is your why for freeing yourself from an addiction? What is your why for wanting to lose weight? We get to really get down and figure out your true why, and then figure out what will motivate you to be successful. So motivational interviewing isn't about me telling you what you need to do. It's about me asking the right questions to assist you in exploring your own motivations. So, for example, if you're working on weight loss, why do you want to lose that weight? What is the deeper reason behind that goal? What will it mean for your health, your confidence, your life overall? So, when you understand the deeper why behind your actions, you're so much more likely to stick with it because it's coming from you. So the next up is cognitive behavioral coaching, which is all about being conscious of that self-talk. You know, those internal thought patterns that you're constantly telling yourself that can sometimes hold you back. And we get to shift that way of thinking. So we all have the stories that we tell ourselves, things like, I'm not good enough, or I'll never be able to change. In cognitive behavioral coaching, we work on identifying those thoughts and challenging them. If you've been telling yourself a story that's not serving you, we'll rewrite that script. For instance, if you struggle with self-doubt, we'll work together to replace those negative thoughts with more empowering ones that just help you build a mindset that supports your goals. So then there's strength-based coaching, which is exactly what it sounds like. We focus on your strengths instead of dwelling on what's not working. So we look at what really is working. We tap into what's already going right. We explore your strengths, the things you're naturally good at, and we use those as the foundation for growth. And this is a really powerful approach because it builds confidence and helps you see just how capable you are of making lasting change. And then finally, we use goal setting, but not the kind of goal setting that feels overwhelming or unattainable. We'll set goals that are meaningful, they're SMART goals that really align with your core values. So instead of just setting such a huge, vague goal like, I want to be healthier, we'll break it down into manageable steps that feel achievable and empowering. Each small step you take will build momentum and get you closer to where you want to be. So all of these methods just come together to create a coaching experience that's truly personalized to you. It's about working with you, who you are, rather than against it. So together, we'll discuss what really works for you, and you'll become the creator of your own life, no longer following somebody else's rules. So this process, it's about more than just change. It's about transformation. It's about stepping into your power, trusting yourself, and knowing that you have all the tools you need to create the life that feels authentic and fulfilling. So just putting all of these, well, just these few tools together, it's not a beginning and ending process by any means. So we start out with the motivational interviewing, me asking you the questions. So say something happens that you didn't show up for work that day. I ask you the questions that get you to dig just a little bit deeper. Why didn't you show up? Maybe you had depression. Why did you have that depression? What was going on? What was the trigger that started that depression? And then we go into the cognitive behavioral change. So next time you notice this trigger that caused this depression in the past, what can we put in place of that trigger so it's a more positive note? And then we lean on your skills that you have had in the past. What in the past has worked where you have created a better circumstance that hasn't led to the depression? And so it's this roundabout thing that works with your goals. And then we might create more new goals to support the new behavior change that supports not giving into your trigger, that supports you not going into the depression, which then supports showing up for work. So, I mean, this definitely just works with everything, whether it's the depression, whether it's losing weight, food related goals, exercise goals, like you name it, it all goes hand in hand and it all just works together just beautifully. It's a dance. So it's really about stepping into your power, trusting yourself, and at the end, knowing that you have all the tools you need to create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. So I hope this is giving you just a deeper understanding of who I am as a coach and what drives me to do what I do. So I'm just passionate about assisting people step into their driver's seat, find their own answers, your own values that resonate with you. So no matter what life brings to you, I know the news and everything is so full of all these conspiracies of what ifs and might be's, and we never know if any of those can happen. But what I can say is, what I believe is the greatest tool that you can have is to be able to be in tune to yourself, to be able to find your own answers when there is just all this chaos around you, and just be able to find that quiet, that sweet spot where you can be still and be at peace without having to go to external forces and measures of numbing yourself with a prescription, a pill, this or that. To just really be able to know yourself and make the choices for that. To stop being the sheep, stop allowing other people to control your choices, and just know within what you get to do. So whether you're looking to create a healthier lifestyle, manage stress, build confidence, or uncover your true self, my goal is to assist you find your path, not to give you rigid rules or a cookie cutter plan. Coaching for me isn't about telling you how to live your life or forcing you into somebody else's idea of what's right. It's about guiding you to discover your own truth, your own values, and your unique path. And if you're looking for somebody to dictate what you should do, I know it's so much easier to just listen to somebody say, hey, just do this, do that, do that. It's the easy way. But again, how has that worked for you? I'm not the coach to do that for you. But if you're ready to dig deep, explore, experiment, and create your own life on your own terms, then we can be a great fit. So also as tools, I have written these 2 books for you. So the first one I wrote is Discover the Adventure of You. So really want to share a little bit about what the difference is between these 2 books, because they can both be very inspiring and life changing. So Discover the Adventure of You, this one really digs deep into getting to know yourself, digging into what are your triggers, finding your own beliefs, your values, and then putting up boundaries to protect that. And then as well as goes into relationships and how you're showing up in a relationship and communication. And wow, there's just so much to offer in this book. As you can see, it is so much thicker. There's a whole chapter for overcoming addictions and letting go of what's disserving to you and honoring yourself, loving your true self, and finding that place of inner love. Also works on gratitude and finding just something daily to have gratitude for with daily gratitude practices. And then forgiveness, to see the lessons in your life that you once judged as bad and sick and wrong, to find the lessons in them. Put forgiveness in it to where you can actually love that experience. So this, as well as Health Beams, they are both workbooks. And that is because they offer the questions. They offer you the questions to find your own answers, just like I do as a coach, to assist you into knowing yourself. That's what I've done with these books. So Health Beams, as you can see, it's a shorter, easier book. It's all about living a long, healthy lifespan. So BEAMS is an acronym, BEAMS, and B is for balanced nutrition, E, enjoyable exercise, A, aloha friends, M, mindful living, and S, sustainable environment. So it's all about creating those things in your life that really can establish and support living a long, healthy health span. So those are my two books. So they are both just really designed to assist you in uncovering your truths and take charge of your own life. And each book is filled with personal insights of mine. And like I say, just most importantly, questions that will encourage you to reflect deeply, find your own answers, and truly become the creator of your life. These are not just books to read. They are tools for yourself, for self-discovery and empowerment. So please don't just read through them quickly. Take the time, go through page and fill out the answers. Because one of the reasons why I wrote these books the way I did is because I found myself reading self-help books and thinking the information I was getting from them were just like so amazing. And I am going to start applying this to my life today. Then tomorrow happens, it didn't come. And then next week, like, okay, I'm going to start doing these things next week. Before I know it, 2 years later, some friend shows up and tells me all about this amazing book that they just read and how they're going to add these new discoveries to their life. And I was like, oh yeah, I read that. It's about 2 years ago and I was going to do that too. And well, that just hasn't really worked yet. So one of the reasons why I did this workbook style is so you can take pen to paper right there, put your thoughts into actions. And then action is the writing, the first tangible form of putting it into manifestation. It's really taking everything you desire and putting it into the first form of creating what you really want. So those are my books. And if you're ready to step into a new chapter of self-discovery, I'm here for you. So whether it's through one-on-one coaching, my podcasts, or my books, my passion is to assist you in becoming the creator of your life and find that peace and joy that we all crave. So mahalo for joining me today. I am so glad I finally had the chance to share my approach, what I do, my philosophy, and my passion for assisting people like you. Remember, you already have everything you need within you. You just get to receive the tools, the questions, and the space to discover it. So please feel free to contact me at radiatehealthandwellness.com. In the top right-hand corner, there's a contact me button. Click on that and you can schedule a free consultation with me or email me at radiate.hw@gmail.com. And as always, if you know somebody who could benefit from the messages shared today, please share this podcast with them. You never know how far your ripple can go. And also, if you have any suggestions about this podcast, I would love to hear them. What did you want to hear? What type of podcast can I do that consists you? I mean, really, this podcast, I made it for you out there in podcast land listening to this, just hoping to find something that will assist you in your life. So please comment below. Let me know what you would like to hear. As well as if you have a message you would like to share, please let me know that too. I would love to have you on as a guest to just assist me in further spreading just knowledge and healing and empowerment and bottom line, being able to get in tune with our core selves and finding our truth. But together, we can definitely create a healthier, happier world. Also, please follow and subscribe so that way you know when I put out a new podcast. Usually I do every Thursday morning, but in case I'm late or early, when you subscribe, you'll be notified of when a new one comes out. So please do that to stay updated on the latest episodes. You can also check out my website, radiatehealthandwellness.com, for more resources, recipes, blog posts, and information on my health and wellness coaching. Until next time, take care of yourself and continue radiating health and wellness in all that you do.